Hey YouTube, it's Emmanuel from Tech Insomnia. Today I'm going to be revamping this gaming PC, which was, it's pretty dusty. There's been some use on it. One major thing we're going to do is we're going to improve the airflow on this machine. Now, this front is a glass which creates a mirrored lighting pattern, which is actually really cool. I'll boot it up for you guys in a second just to show you, but it's not doing anything for the cooling because the only area where air can enter is through these front vents. So we're going to change up the case. We're going to upgrade the CPU cooler, the heatsink. We're going to put all brand new fans, and yeah, I'll take you guys on the ride with me. We're also going to open up this graphics card and just clean it out, re-thermal it, maybe with a compound or a thermal pad depending on the inside. So yeah, let's get to it. Hope you guys enjoy. So this is just a quick little video just to give you guys an idea of what I was mentioning before. It is actually pretty cool. It's a really cool pattern actually. See, but yeah, really dusty. We're gonna have this thing working and looking better than ever. Stay tuned. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to completely disassemble this entire PC. We're gonna take all the components out and clean the entire machine inside and out. Oh my good. Oh man. No. Okay. This is gonna be one heck of a project. So I got the graphics card out. I just wanted to kind of show you guys this. So this is without me removing any screws. Screws in the places where they are actually, but missing a lot of different screws. I'm not putting anybody down. I mean, that's not my style. I don't like to put anybody down, but it's really important to always get all the screws in there, guys. Very important. And I mean, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right, and you gotta do it all the way. And you know, that way you get the best out of the components and you keep your clients happy as well. And the machine will serve you better long term. We're gonna get this whole thing cleaned up though. Not to worry, stay tuned. Okay, so we got the back panel off. A little bit of a wiring nightmare here, but can't fault it because it was working for a long period of time. But we're gonna take this wiring to the next level on the new case. 100%. So I got the power supply out, and the inside is not too bad. I might still just pop her open quickly and just give it a nice cleaning from the inside. But yeah, all the components are out. Here's all the screws that came out holding the components in. Very important, guys. It's always good to, you know, place and store the components of the computer well. These haven't been cleaned yet, but you know, just good practice to make sure that you don't damage anything or scratch anything. Another thing that's very important is to check the compatibility of all the components. So I've put all these components into PCPartPicker.com. and just to ensure that there's no compatibility issues found, and then also to make sure that we have enough power in the power supply, the original power supply for this build, that there's definitely enough power to power all the components effectively. Very important, guys. Always good to double check, better safe than sorry. Here I've got the parts that we're going to be using. I love the Focus G from Fractal. Swedish design, European design case. It's It's big enough to fit everything, but small enough to maximize airflow, intake and outtake for the fans. We've got the Hyper 212 Black Edition, which is going to give us some great temperatures on that i7 8th gen CPU. We've got brand new RF 120s, the RGBs. This client wanted black with white lighting, so we're going to be able to pull that off very, very nicely. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get this case out of the way, and then we'll tackle the graphics card first, so that way the thermal has time to set and cure while we get to the rest of the build. Okay, so I got the graphics card completely cleaned and re-thermaled the entire way through, and as you can see, it's looking like brand new. I did a tutorial on how to do this exact graphics card, and I'll put the link in this description below. But yeah, so this is done. Now we can get to cleaning the motherboard, and then once that's done, we'll install it in the new case and then re-thermal. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be using the micro attachments on my vacuum to really get those particles of dust and debris off the board. Once I remove the stock heatsink and the RAM, and then we'll have this board looking like brand new, and then we'll be able to install it into the new case. Just as I expected, very dirty. You can see that the thermal was not covering. I took it off literally exactly this way, so if you look, there were places where the thermal was not even touching, which was definitely affecting temperatures in the CPU. So we'll get this entire thing cleaned up, and then we'll install it in the case. Okay, so I've got the board literally shining new clean, and you know what? It's just a combination of twisting the board on different angles and then hitting it with the microfiber attachments to really get into every single nook and cranny on the board, including behind the board. So, and then you know, another thing too, these screws that actually hold the holder for the CPU to the board were actually really loose. So good tip is just to check everything, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be He-Man tightened, but I mean just to once over everything, just to make sure that everything's in great standing, and we know that it'll work correctly for years and years to come. Man, look how clean this board is. Something about the term super clean that just satisfies my OCD. I'm gonna teach you guys a little extra that just you know, the icing on the cake when it comes to you know, you do a build for somebody, for a client, a colleague, a friend, a family member. It's good to always, before you remove these, write the actual way that it went into the box, so that once the machine is completely built, you can slide it back into the box. Everything just fits perfectly, and it's just a lot less guesswork, and it's that extra little touch of care that I'm sure a lot of clients out there are going to notice that you took the time and effort to do it. I've got the motherboard installed, fresh screws mounted correctly from both sides. I'm going to go ahead and wire up the computer with the fans, the power supply, and we'll fast forward to that part right now. So I've gotten the majority of the wiring done. I've tried my best to keep it as nice and neat as possible. Got to do the hard drives, the heat sink, and the rear case fan, and the graphics card, and it'll be good to go. Here's the back all wired up. I did it as cleanly as I could. I like to terminate the ends that aren't going to be used with a little bit of electrical tape, and I mean, that's just for safety, you know, just better safe than sorry. Tried to do the wiring as cleanly as I could. I mean, some places you can't, you just can't get around, you know, the wires kind of looking random, but definitely nothing random about it. I'm gonna put the heatsink in right now. Okay, so I've got the heatsink installed. I've let it cure for a few hours. Now the moment of truth. Oh, looking great. And what I really love about this build is the module here on the back gives you the ability to control all the case fans inside the computer for a really, really nice effect. And you can go through the different colors. Really nice. One last thing I want to share with you guys before I pop the graphics card in is my client was actually running this SSD as their main and only SSD, but I was able to convince him to upgrade to Western Digital Black. This is an incredible high performance gaming NVMe solid state hard drive, 5 years warranty, and it just so happens that the board supports M.2 and full NVMe, so this is going to give a crazy speed boost for gaming. Beautiful. Okay, so the wiring now is fully complete. I'm able to hide that SATA cable nicely. Now key, when installing the cables, you want to kind of pre-twist them so that they go in straight, so that way they don't put any pressure on the actual plugs for anything that you're plugging in. For the most part, very clean. Here's the graphics card. Cleaned, re-thermaled, and installed. I have my own little unique way of kind of twisting the power cable for the actual graphics card, and this kind of acts as a little bit of an extra support depending on how you zip it from the back of the case. Now a very, very key, crucial factor to doing this correctly is you need to make sure that when you're twisting and bending these wires, you have to hold that port so that no pressure is being put on the actual part of the motherboard in this graphics card where that plug connects to. You want to make sure that you're not putting unnecessary pressure on it. Just my own little unique style of doing it. Happy with how the wiring turned out. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I was speaking about earlier in comparison to the solid state hard drives. So this is the SanDisk 1 terabyte hard drive that came with the computer when I received it. Now look at the speed on the new Western Digital Black NVMe 3028 versus 515. Now you can guarantee you're gonna see a difference in gaming with those speeds. Completely finished now, as you can see. The latest firmware version on the solid state SSD. All drivers installed, including the most important one. Hard drive running at 100%.
enjoyed my video, and thanks so much for tuning in. If you found value, please feel free to like and subscribe, and leave some positive feedback in the comments section, some suggestions. It's a great community here on YouTube. We're all growing and improving our skills. Really appreciate all the support and positive feedback. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have yourself a great day.